World Cup Group B breakdown. Hello guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be doing a World Cup Group B breakdown, talking about all the teams like we did in Group A yesterday. We're going to be talking about Group B today, and guess who's in Group B? The England. So it's going to be interesting to see how I think about them. We're going to be doing our predictions at the end of the video as well as usual. So it's going to be interesting. Should we just get cracking into it with the first team, which is England? Talk about the Three Lions. We haven't won a World Cup since 1964. That's 56 years of hurt. And it never ever stops me dreaming. We will still fight in this World Cup. We still have one of our golden generations. We've got the Nations League in a few months' time, in about June-ish time. And we've got Italy there, redemption there. We've got Hungary, Germany. We've got these big tests to try and overcome in the Nations League, which can give us a little bit of extra determination in this World Cup. It's going to be a fascinating World Cup for us. You know, we are a very solid side, a very good side, but I do not know if we have the talent. And the thing is, we usually do well-ish in World Cups. Like last World Cup, we got 4th place, which is very, very good. And then in the World Cup, in the Euros, we got 2nd. In the Nations League, we got 3rd, like 2-3 years ago. So now it's our chance to come first. And it comes back to this thing actually, because we got France in the World Cup quarterfinals. Probably should get France. If England win their group and France win their group, and we both win a round of 16 games, check out my World Cup predictions, you'll see. And I predicted England to beat France. But here's my early predictions. Whoever wins that game, for me, wins the World Cup. If whoever wins that, if France win that game, I think France will win the World Cup. If England win that game, we have a less chance of winning the World Cup, but I think we'll still win the World Cup. Beating France is a massive achievement, especially in the quarterfinals. Get to the semi-finals, that momentum, that hope, that feeling of we should win this game. You know, that feeling of happiness, of beating a France side, and that our ego will just go up and up and up every time we win a game. Our morale will go up and up and up. I didn't mean ego, I meant our morale will go up. Every player will be buzzing, happy, wanting to play for their country. And fans, including myself, would be loving it if we can beat France in the quarterfinals. But England are a very good side. This is one of the strongest sides I think we've ever had. And you know, this group is getting really compared to the Steven Gerrards, the Frank Lampards, the John Terrys. And yeah, that's a good thing. You know, we're playing really good football. You know, getting to the Euro final and losing to a bunch of cheaters. In Italy, they did cheat that game. Italy fans, you can't say anything about it. You did cheat, and we lost that game. Heartbreak, and I can't even go over it now. Really, I still do. You know, when I saw on TikTok that Luke Shaw goal, you know, it brings back the good memories of the Euros. And then the World Cup in 2018, the last World Cup, we did brilliantly. That was the first big tournament. I think Gareth Southgate, that was the first big tournament of Gareth Southgate. I don't think he played even the Nations League then. He had a few games with the lads before getting to the semi-finals of the World Cup, beating Tunisia 2-1, Panama 6-1, and then only just losing to Belgium 1-0. And then we beat Colombia, beat Sweden, just lost to Croatia, and lost to Belgium in the 3rd place. So, you know, this England squad can go very, very far, and I'm hoping we can. I predicted us to win it, but that's my early one. There'll be so much more, and it's maybe a bit biased, but if we lost to France, I think France would have won that anyway. So, yeah, should we move on to the next team, which is Iran? Yeah, they're definitely not the favourites to do well in this competition, are they? They're definitely not the favourites to do well. It's a hard one, because, you know, this Iran side, they're good. They're quite a good side, solid side. They've got a few half-decent players. They're just not on the levels of England, USA, or a European team. European playoff team. They're just not on the level. They're not. They've got a few half decent players, but they're not that brilliant, are they? They're all right. They're good. They're not that good, but they're decent. But England for USA, the European playoff is just better. They're better individually, better as a team. They're better overall, and they are such a solid side. Every other team is such a solid side. It's gonna be so hard for Iran to get a point, let alone a win. And yes, they have a few alright players, yes, to get to this competition they did well. And yes, last World Cup, them and Morocco did alright. I think Iran was on 4 points and Portugal and Spain were on 5. So Iran did really well there, to be fair. I think they drew to Spain. Or Portugal, they may have drew to Portugal, but whoever. And, yes, they did well in the last World Cup for Iran. I just don't see them doing well this World Cup. They've got USA to compete with. They've got the European playoff team to compete with. They're not even comparable to England. Like Iran, yes, they've got a few half decent players. Yeah, they've got this man, that man, this man, that man. But we're just better. England's just better. USA are probably just better. And European playoffs are just better. But yeah, should we move on to USA? It's going to be interesting. USA getting England in the group, and I can't wait for that game, Friday the 25th of November, I believe, 7 p.m. So tune in for that preview and review. But that's going to be in ages, isn't it? But it's going to be such a fascinating game, such an interesting game, an interesting group. With England, USA, if we lose, all I'm going to see on TikTok, YouTube is soccer's coming home. It's just like, shut up, man. Like, you're not even, I didn't even predict you to go through. If England win, I think we'll win like 2-3-0 over the team we've got. But USA could really fight for us. USA could really fight in that game because they know England. The rivalry between England and USA, the rivalry between the two nations. USA got a rivalry with Iran, a massive rivalry with Iran. So it's gonna be interesting though. They've got a few decent players. USA. They've got Pulisic. They've got I forgot, but they've got a few really good players, and they could cause an upset. They really can, and that's the nervy thing I'm feeling right now. They can easily just somehow cause an upset, which is not going to be good. Of course, we should beat USA, but if they do cause an upset, then we're pretty screwed, aren't we? Because the rivalry, we could just underestimate them. Go into the game thinking, oh, we've won this game. Easy claps, mate. Easy. But no. And they could just come out and win this game. Easily. They could just come out against England, against Iran, and for me, against Scotland, and cause an upset. That's for me. For me, that's what I think they can do. They can definitely cause an upset. But, it's at the end of the day, it's going to be a tough group for USA. They could qualify. But will they? It depends on their fight, their willingness to win games, to do this and that. They got a new manager. They're looking good. Last time we played USA, I think it was a 2-2 draw or 3-0 win. One of the two. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game. We got USA in the group. We got Iran in the group. And yeah, USA, the rivalry, the fight. If they have that, they have the fight to win. They have the willingness, have the morale up. Honestly, this team could go far, round 16, maybe even quarters. But I don't think they'll be first. Yeah, should we move on to the European playoff team? And for me, it's Scotland. I said in the World Cup predictions it's Scotland. I still believe it will be Scotland. We'll talk a little bit about Wales, but on the screen it'll just be the Scotland flag. So Wales, they look alright. They've got Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey. It's pretty much who they've got. They've got Dan James, decent. Ukraine, I think the fight for what happened to them right now, I think could come into effect, and if they do beat Scotland, I think Wales and Ukraine will be a fascinating game. But yeah, for me, Scotland will beat Ukraine, and I think they'll beat Wales. So it'll be Scotland. So Scotland are, a very good side. They're such an underrated side. Shea Adams, John McGinn, Robertson, Tierney. That's just to name a few. They have got a very strong side. And, yes, they came third in the Euros. or 4th. I think they did come 4th, but they looked good against England. They got a 0-0 draw, very strong defensively, and they had a few shots, a few good chances they probably should have scored and buried. Well, they got a few decent players. They could do well. The whole nation will be behind them in every game, in every country. The nation will be behind them, but it's different with Scotland. You know, the whole nation, like literally, it'd be mental if Scotland beat England. Then don't know what I'll do. I'll just be upset because all I'll just see on YouTube, TikTok and YouTube again is Scotland fans just saying we beat England. They did it when we drew 0-0, and they were all saying this and that about it. Mate, you came 4th in the Euro group stage. We came 2nd in our competition. So yeah, but Scotland, you know, a decent side. I could do very well in this competition, of course. And yeah, should we move on to my table predictions? I've gone for England first, Scotland second, USA third, and Iran 4th. That is my prediction. England is pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? England, Harry Kane, all this and that. We don't need to name it the players because you just know the names. And England are just a very good side. I think we'll win all our games as well. I think we'll beat Scotland like 1-0. Beat USA like 2-3-0, and it beat Iran like 4-0. No, we should beat Iran. Moving on to second with Scotland. Yeah, Scotland are a good side. They've got a few decent players here and there, but yeah, I think they'll come second. In third, I've gone for USA. I think they're better than Iran. It'll be close between USA and Scotland, but that's my predictions. And then Iran last. Pretty easy to say Iran last because they don't have many decent players, do they? But yeah, that wraps up the video. The Group B is done. Group C will be done tomorrow. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.